Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in today's video, I have a network update for you guys from Verizon. They released a news article yesterday how 5G coverage is expanding, understanding C-band. So the portfolio they got in terms of it being contiguous is quite impressive. Now, people are telling me there's kind of a holdup because it can't be deployed outside of the top 46. So I kind of want you guys to get a better understanding here. So within the top 46 markets, they can turn it on. So to kind of give you guys, better wording. So in the top 46, they can turn it on because, the clearance is set to be cleared on the 19th. The FCC said they would no longer interfere. So to flip the switch takes place January 19th. They flip the switch. Now C-band is on commercially. And a lot of people I keep hearing people say they can't deploy outside of the 46. So there's a difference. They can't turn it on outside of the top 46, but they can deploy it. So that's kind of what I wanted to speak on today. So by summer of this year, be looking forward to them deploying the panels and the radios outside of the 46. They're going to start doing it. It would be against competition for them to wait until December 23 to start deploying. If you think about it from a competitive standpoint, it makes no sense to wait. You start deploying those assets now in those markets outside of the 46. You start deploying them now, and then when it's time for the clearance, you just flip the switch. It just makes perfect sense to do so from a competitive standpoint. You are already behind on the mid-band layer to T-Mobile. So you're going to aggressively start deploying it outside of the 46 this year. And then when the clearance comes, you just flip a switch. And recently, the CTO of Verizon, Kyle, mentioned that if there's an opportunity to clear the B block early, they're going to do that. They're going to try to look into that. So there could be a possibility where they can clear a few months before the December timeframe. So what's very interesting in many conversations is the rule part, rule United States in terms of Verizon going there with C-band. Right now, within the top 46 that they have the clearance on the 19th, there's already some rule pops or points of presence that they are able to touch. And I've been reaching out to some of the tower crews, and they're telling me that they are deploying that C-band within markets that are due for clearance or due to be turned on. But the downside to that is they're telling me it's taking them a bit longer at those sites because they're older sites. So these are the band 13 only sites that came with the microwave backhaul, outdated baseband units. So they spend several days at those sites ripping it and replacing it. So for the sites that come with microwave backhaul, Verizon's already working on contracts on the back end to get fiber deployed. In some of those areas, it won't be their own fiber. They'll be working with, I'm told, with Comcast and or AT&T or whatever third parties in that area. So they're trenching fiber to those sites now as well. So the rural performance from Verizon is set to increase dramatically on these upgrades. So we're getting fiber to the site. The site is now going from band 13 to whatever assets they have available in those markets. So we're likely talking PCS, AWS, C-band, and depending on the area, CBRS is likely going to be on the site as well. And in some cases, even millimeter wave. So that's kind of what they're doing with the rural deployment. And that's going to be the most extensive deployment for them in terms of having to spend several days at the site getting it upgraded. And they have to do that at a scale, on those deployments. So, of course, they're going to start before December 2023 on deployments. 100%. They're going to sweep some of their bigger markets, market share wise, outside of the 46, they're going to sweep through those maybe within, 3 to 6 months. Verizon being one of them. Ever since they closed that track phone deal, now those customers were already on the network, but they have solid share here with Verizon postpaid. The Spectrum Mobile is growing, track phone is growing, so that's all adding additional usage to the network. So they have closer to 40% market share now in this market, and this is a market that they're going to likely deploy C-band at a very quick pace. And I'm looking forward to seeing that happen this summer. And since they're starting this summer, they don't necessarily have to work as quick. They can kind of take their time because the clearance is not set until December 23. They're going to try to clear early, but they're going to diligently work through this and gradually increase the C-band. So that way, in some markets, if they get started early in the summer, maybe even the fall, they can still comfortably get the sites upgraded with the C-band equipment. And by that time, hopefully there isn't such a huge shortage, so they can also get that LTE modernization going. That's kind of the issue right now. They're having to go back to some of the 4G sites. I know I had mentioned that. So if they have that C-band panel, sometimes they go and just put the C-band panel and they don't have the equipment to modernize the LTE portion of it. So there are some sites, literally, from what I've seen on the dashboard, that got C-band but don't even have DSS. So it's kind of weird to say that, but Verizon is literally deploying it to where C-band is on the site, but since there's a shortage on radios and panels, they can't even add DSS on some of those sites. Now, not to say that there's a huge gap on DSS. I know most urban markets, they're starting to get to a high percentage on DSS deployed, but we'll see what happens in the future. I hope the shortage settles. Verizon believes it will be better Q1 going into Q2. So we'll see what happens this year. But by summer, around the summertime, maybe fall, if you're outside of the top 46, be looking forward to Verizon starting deployments of C-band in your markets ahead of schedule. It's definitely going to be ahead of schedule. From now until the summer, they're going to be deploying C-band, of course, like crazy within the footprint where they have clearance. And they want to scale that very quickly, which 175 million points of presence is where they kind of tap out on the licensing that's cleared. And I think they can get to 190 million, but that would include some of that rural footprint that I was mentioning that is cleared within the top 46. So stay tuned to the channel for more updates and interaction. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, leave all your comments in the comment section down below. Make sure to follow my social media outlets for more updates and interactions. This is Tyrone with Tech Live. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.